This is the sound of me failing as a musical talent. It is very sad. However, I know someone who will be able to show you how music can be sung and played. So are you excited? Yeah. And we are going to show you who that may be. So stay tuned. Bye-bye. Hello. Did you know that I was actually born in a musical family? Well, yes, my mum sort of expected that I would become the next Mozart or something like that, but it never really happened. So I promised myself I would befriend some of the best musicians in the land. And today, it's not just any musician, it's actually a prodigious one too. And he is very multicultural. Can you guess who that might be? Well, let's have a look at the following video to see who we are seeing today.
Hello everybody, my name is Jayden Trịnh and I'm 14 years old from Dunedin, New Zealand. Music has always been my passion, and since I was 5 years old, I always challenged myself to keep on learning instruments. Now I'm 14 and I can play, 14 instruments. You might be wondering how I can learn so many instruments in a fairly short period of time. The truth is, I'm not a prodigy, I'm not a genius, but it was all through hard work. Now, follow me into the IELTS FACE-OFF studio. Let's go!
Now let's see him in the flesh. Let's welcome Jayden!
Hi Michael!
My man!
How are you?
Not too bad, buddy. I'm very excited to finally see you in the flesh. Man, you even look cooler.
Thank you.
You're vibrating with musical talent as well.
Oh, thank you so much.
So let's get straight to business.
Yes, let's get to it.
Okay. First of all, let's talk about music because that's what you represent. Who has inspired your love for music?
Of course, there's been a lot of people that have inspired me in this journey, but I'll talk about two people in particular. First off, my mum, because when I first started learning music, I was only 5 and I was learning the guitar. At that age, it was quite hard because, my hands were small, I had a short attention span, I could just think about food. But my mum was always there for me in the sense that even though she didn't need to, she was always learning with me. Aww. So when I first started learning it, I remember I was really nervous because I was like, what happens if I, don't get this right? But every step of the way, my mum was there. She learned with me every lesson. We practiced together. She was the person that really set my foundations for my love of music and for my passion. And until this day, I'm really grateful for that. And for my principal, he was actually the first person to teach me guitar. All the other teachers they were like, oh, Jayden, he's too young. His hands won't be able to reach all the chords. But my principal was different. He was like, oh, no, that's all good. Even though you're young, if you want to learn, then I'll teach you. And he really was a role model for me. And I could see he loved teaching, and that really had an effect on me, yeah.
Sometimes all you need is someone to have faith in you for you to keep pushing ahead, right?
Definitely.
Okay, so talking about pushing ahead, you've definitely pushed a long way ahead, right? Now, you're recognized on the streets in Vietnam, people know about you. How are you handling all of that public attention?
Well, for me, I'm really grateful for everybody that's given me the opportunity to you know, come onto TV, do performances, and yeah, people do recognize me on the streets, and it is something quite special, and I always have to remember to stay humble, you know, because the main reason why I enjoy being like to be able to perform or maybe to go on TV is so that I can share my music with everybody. So after I competed in Vietnam Idol Kids in 2016, first just people would see, like, they'd be, oh, isn't it that guy that you know, was on TV? And from there, you know, lots of people were contacting me for shows, and it's really great. But for me, I also feel like education is really important. So as you all know, I live in New Zealand as well. So in New Zealand, my life still stayed quite the same. I focused on music and academics a lot, while over in Vietnam, it would be more like performing.
Any of your friends in New Zealand found out that you're a bit of a big shot in Vietnam?
So over in New Zealand, sometimes my friends, they actually do see that I've done the show, and sometimes they even text me and ask, while I was doing the show, they were like, oh, are you in the middle of like doing the show over in Asia? And I'm like, yeah, I am. So even though, you know, some people, they do know me for that over in New Zealand, I still do try and keep all the, like, I still do perform in New Zealand, but it's more of just like a kind of pastime, I reckon. Whereas over here in Vietnam, you know, it's something that when I get invited to do shows, then I really enjoy it and I, you know, really participate.
So I know that you don't just specialize in one instrument. You actually have a wide range, an arsenal of instruments you can play. Which ones are your favorites?
That is one of the hardest questions that people have asked me. But I reckon guitar, flute, saxophone, and it's actually a hard one to pick a fourth one.
Which ones are you bringing to the house today?
Okay. So I actually did bring my favorite instruments. So I did bring my guitar, flute, saxophone, and I also brought the 2-string violin, the Nhạc, over here as well.
Would you like to give us a taste of, you know, a reel of all of your instruments?
Yeah,
now?
sure.
Let's
Sounds
do it.
good.
Okay, bring in the instruments, ladies. Okay, so your choice, whichever one you want to start with.
Okay, so since guitar was my first instrument, well, I'm sure everyone knows the song Havana, so I'll just sing a little sentence from that. Havana, na na. Half of my heart is in Havana, na na. She took me back to East Atlanta, na na na. Half of my heart is in Havana. There's something about her manners, Havana, na na. Oh,
Do a marathon.
Okay.
Next one.
Next one, saxophone. This one is one of my favorite for many instruments, mostly because you can do more than one genre, but for this one, I'll be doing Summertime.
Let's go east.
Next instrument.
Let's go east.
Here we have the 2-string violin, đàn nhị. This is Biao Zat Mei Choi.
Mây trôi trong xa xôi, em ơi anh vẫn đợi chờ. Does anyone want to sing with us?
chẳng thấy đâu.
Ooh, nice. Okay, we've got the next one. Wow. Oh man, you're even better in real life.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, now that we've seen your talents, we want to know about your family and your sense of belonging. Now, obviously, you are a very multicultural boy. Do you ever get confused about your identity?
Well, so yeah, my dad's Singaporean and my mum is Vietnamese, but I live in New Zealand. So it is quite confusing, isn't it? And sometimes I do kind of think like, oh, where am I from? But for me, my heart always rests within Vietnam. Like I just feel just the culture, the way that just everyone's so nice. And Vietnam definitely has a special place in my heart. Of course, I really love New Zealand, and it's a great country, but I'm actually not, you know, by blood, I'm not from New Zealand, but from Vietnam. So every time I come down on the airplane when I'm landing, I always tell my parents I'm home.
A picture speaks 1,000 words. We've got a whole video to show what you just said, so let's take a look.
You just call on my name, and you know wherever I am, I come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I need this, I will. You got a friend, do 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 do. You've got a friend, do 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 do. You got a friend.
Wow, there was just too much sweetness as well as there were too many instruments in that video. It was lovely to see you and your mum jamming together
Yeah.
in a video, but I kind of want to see the actual lady who's your inspiration here as well. Would I be able to do that? Is she here?
Yeah, so actually for almost all of my performances and you know, whenever I go on shows, my mum is always either backstage or in the audience, and yes, she is an inspiration and always supports me. So she actually is here today.
Hey, girl!
Hello, Michael. Hi, Jayden.
Hi, Mum.
Hello, everyone.
This is what I've always been wondering, right? Most Asian moms tend to want to, you know, lead their kids down the paths of being a lawyer, a doctor, and all that. What motivated you to lead him onto the path of music?
I think he led himself into the path of music. We didn't actually lead him to do music, but we did realize that he had such a great passion for music since he was very young. And I think one of the first persons that actually found out about his passion was his primary school principal. He's the one that had a talk with us parents that Jayden showed great interest and passion in music. So we thought that, okay, since he likes to do, we just nurture that passion, and music is just one of the things that he's interested in. So it's not the only thing, and it's just probably music is the greater passion than the rest of other things.
So we've heard all about the positive and the upside of Jayden being your son, but how about the downside?
There are two things that is kind of annoying, is recorder and drums. But I think Jayden was quite a quick learner when he was young, so he got in tune quite fast, and that was not too annoying for a long time. You know, his timetable is a problem. The basic instruments that he actually focused on was about 6 to 8 at a very high level. So that has been really tough to schedule his timetable. While in New Zealand, there was no homework for primary and intermediate levels, but because, like I say, he's into radio broadcasting and other things as well. So we actually have to print out his schedule every month and paste it on the wall so that we parents don't miss out.
But which instruments got on your nerves the most when he started learning how to play it?
I would say recorder. Recorder is like a flute, but it's a straight. It's not this way, but it's this way, and it's a very basic flute. So it gives you that very annoying sound.
You know what? I raised my hats off to you for supporting this young man. Thanks to you and your great endurance of all 14 instruments, we now have this amazing gentleman with his amazing love for music as well. So a round of applause to God. Thank you so much.
I'm humbled.
Okay, so enough talk. Now I want to see more action. So let's get straight down to IELTS challenge. Welcome back to IELTS Face-Off. It is challenge time. Now, what kind of challenge do you think we're doing?
Well, I reckon that first, before I go into my challenge, I like to make a little bit of a proposition that you do a challenge with me, or you know, in New Zealand we have something called haka, and since you lived in Australia, you might be familiar with this.
Yes, I'm too familiar with it. So let's get straight to business.
Okay, so just before I do this, I like to explain a little bit about it. So the haka traditionally was a war dance, and it would be done between tribes to kind of intimidate each other. But now it is kind of transformed into more of the cultural, you know, traditional aspect. The one that I'll be teaching you is called kamate. It's what the All Blacks, which is the rugby team, uses in New Zealand.
So let's do it.
Wallabies, but yeah. So I'll do it first, and you can see I'll do a little bit of a kind of example. Kamate, kamate, kora, kora. Kamate, kamate, kora, kora. Tengete, tangata, huru, huru, nana, itete, waifaka, fititera. Aupane, 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 kapune, fititera. Hey! Woo!
Now, would you like to see me do it?
Kamate, kamate, kora, kora. Kamate, kamate, kora, kora. Tengete, tangata. Can you do the actions? Huru, huru, nana, itete, waifaka, fititera. Aupane, 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 kapune, fititera. Hey! Hey! There you go.
Yeah,
But I mean, you did the ending way better than I've ever done.
Sweet. So is that good enough for me to challenge you back?
Yeah, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready.
Okay, we don't have anything that's aggressive, but we have something a bit softer. It's our own song.
Wow.
The IELTS Face-Off song. So could you maybe try doing it? Have you heard it before?
I have heard it, but I've actually never tried singing it that much.
Okay.
So it's quite new to me, yeah.
All right, awesome. But I have faith in you, considering you're a prodigy. So you better not fail me, all right?
Okay,
Let's
I'll try.
do it.
I've been hiding too long in my corner. Why do I spend days to fear and ponder? What is rough is also tough, and they weigh my spirits down. But the rocks make up the mountains, they will also be my ground. My dreams, they don't shine like bright stars. I gave my faith that day, it's not too far. the seas and skies.
Oh man, I certainly did feel the love, and I'm sure everybody, every fan of the show, as well as all of the crew members here, feel the love from you. So thank you very much for that, and we wish you the best of luck with your future endeavours.
All good. Thank you so much.
No problemo. All right, so don't go anywhere just yet, because we have got an exciting episode of IELTS On The Go right ahead.
Hi studio of IELTS FACE-OFF, I'm Khánh Vy, and we are continuing our journey of IELTS On The Go in Quảng Trị province. This is the land of war heroes, and we are in Trường Sơn Cemetery, where more than 10,000 martyrs are resting in peace, who are sacrificed their life in the name of national liberation and reunification. And I'm here with Ngân. Welcome, Ngân. Hi.
Hi everyone, my name is Ngan and I'm 16 years old.
And you were born and raised in Quảng Trị province.
Yes.
So you will be my local tour guide today.
Okay, glad to be here.
Yes. We are here with a gratitude and appreciation for all of the Vietnamese soldiers and martyrs. And I really want to know more about this place. When this place was built, and what do you know about this place that others can know?
Okay, so Trường Sơn Martyrs Cemetery is for the soldiers who died on Ho Chi Minh Trail in the period, like in the resistance war against America. And this is not only the resting place of like the soldiers, but it is also a shining symbol for our pride, our independence, and the bravery of the soldiers here.
Yes, I could feel that they're all here. They're all present
Yes.
with us. And every year, millions of people flocking, no, I think thousands of people are flocking to this place to burn incense, to pay tribute, homage to their soldiers. I think that's just something that inspires to do something better,
Yes.
to become a better place, become a better person. So, have you ever been here before?
Yes, of course. I've been there several times.
Like you often go here once a month,
Yeah,
once
like
a year?
Annually.
Annually,
Yes.
that's amazing. So, should we go for a walk and we burn incense to the soldiers?
Yeah, let's go.
Thank you so much.
Well, it is no exaggeration to say that Trường Sơn National Cemetery is one of the most impressive reconstructions with a massive scale in Vietnam. This is a major work to show our gratitude and reverence for soldiers and people who died in the resistance war against America. Up till now, the cemetery has been the resting place of over 10,000 martyrs. Another site that bears testimony to the local people's courage and persistence in their fight for reunification is the Vinh Mốc Tunnel. Known as a world beneath the war, Vinh Mốc was initially constructed to shelter people from the intense bombing of America. Thanks to its well-designed ventilation system, this so-called miniaturized village enabled hundreds of people to live and fight through the war. These two historical sites both act as the embodiment of the Vietnamese's strong nationalism and patriotism.
Oh, that's such a special place. You could imagine it's like a miniature underground home village where every daily activities took place. And I think that's all thanks to the heroic mentality and their perseverance of the residents here during the wartime. What do you think about that?
So Vinh Mốc Tunnel is a testament to the bravery, wisdom and endurance of the local people here in their fight for independence. So today we have to pay a visit to some tourist destinations in Quảng Trị. And if you are an adventurous person, if you want to find more about historic sites, then Quảng Trị must come high on your list of must-visit places.
Yeah, go to Quảng Trị province. Oh, I forgot. Just tune in every week for IELTS On The Go and IELTS FACE-OFF. More to come.
Thank you very much, Khánh Vy, for that awesome show. She did put on a great performance, didn't she?
She did.
How about yourself? What does it mean for you to be a performer?
Well, for me, although it might seem so, performing is not just about hitting all the right notes or sounding great, you know, being the next Beyonce or something, but it's about performing from the heart and soul. And I believe that whenever you perform from the heart and soul, then you'll always shine.
Just like how I've shown before when I was performing the haka, right?
Yes, definitely. That was up there. That was good.
And if you want to learn more about being a performer from an academic point of view and look to boost your performance, don't forget to see us again on IELTS FACE-OFF on BTV7 at 9 p.m. this Saturday night. And until next time, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.